Hello everyone, I'm Sarah, and it's a pleasure to meet you today on a gentle autumn morning, where the yellow leaves are gently falling on the path of a small suburban park. I stand here with a warm cup of coffee in hand, ready to invite you to step into the journey of intergenerational connection, a place where we listen, share, and find connections between generations. Our channel was born from a simple desire: for every story to be told, every life to be cherished, and for young and old people to always feel like they belong to a warm community. Today I want to invite you to sit down like old friends, to talk about something that is gradually changing the way we look at life in America in 2025. The modern nursing home model. Perhaps many of us used to think that nursing homes were strange places, where people sent their loved ones as a last resort when there was no other way. Different. But what if I told you that, right now, these places are becoming symbols of care, joy, and freedom for seniors? Do you think you'd want to hear more? Let me start with the story of Margaret, a 68-year-old woman I met at a nursing home in suburban Chicago. Margaret used to be an elementary school teacher, busy with lessons, tending her small backyard garden, and spending cozy holidays with her family. But a few years ago, when her husband died, she felt the house that was once filled with laughter suddenly become empty. Her children, though they loved their mother, lived in other cities, busy with work and families of their own. Margaret told me that there were afternoons when she sat by the window, looking out at the familiar street, and loneliness crept in like an uninvited friend. "I didn't want to be a burden to my children," she said with a look that was both gentle and determined, "but I didn't know how to fill the void in my heart." Then one day, Margaret's daughter gently suggested that she try looking into a nursing home near her home. At first, she was vehemently opposed. "I didn't want to live in a place where people were waiting for their last days," she recalled, and I could see a gentle smile on her face as she told the story. But at her daughter's insistence, Margaret agreed to visit a modern nursing home not far from her home. What she saw surprised her. It wasn't the cold, gloomy place she had expected. Instead, she walked into a garden filled with flowers, where seniors were chatting happily. There was a common room with colorful paintings, a small corner for yoga classes, and what touched her heart the most: a group of people sitting together telling each other stories about their lives. Margaret loved listening to stories. For her, it was not only a way to reminisce, but also a way to feel like she still belonged somewhere. After a few months of thinking, Margaret decided to move into the nursing home. "Not only was I being cared for," she told me during a visit, "but I was also living, really living, in a way I never thought possible at my age." She told me about the evenings she spent with new friends, listening to them share stories of their youthful travels, their weddings, or even their failures that made them laugh when they remembered them. Those moments, however small, helped her find joy, as if there was still so much more to life to explore. Margaret's story is not unique. In the United States of 2025, nursing homes are becoming an integral part of how we care for our seniors. They are no longer mere old people's homes, where people go only for medical assistance. Instead, they are vibrant communities where people over 60 find attentive care, meaningful activities, and most importantly, new relationships. I remember visiting a nursing home in California that held a storytelling circle. People sat in a large circle, each sharing a memory. An old man told of the first time he drove across the country. A woman told of the wedding dress she had handmade. The atmosphere was filled with laughter, sometimes tears, but above all, the warmth of understanding. These storytelling sessions not only nourish the soul, but also remind us that, at any age, we still need to be heard, still need to be connected. But why have nursing homes become so popular? To understand why, we need to look at how American society has changed in recent years. Decades ago, families were often the center of care for the elderly. Children felt it was their responsibility, even their obligation, to keep their parents home and care for them until the end of their lives. I remember my grandmother, who was proud that 3 generations lived under one roof, eating dinner together every night. But modern life is not the same. Life is faster, work is more demanding, and nuclear families are getting smaller. Many young people, while loving their parents, can no longer afford to care for their children, pursue a career, and ensure that their parents are well taken care of. I spoke with David, a 40-year-old engineer in Seattle. He shared that his mother, Helen, needed constant medical care after a mild stroke. As much as David wanted to bring his mother back to live with him, he felt helpless. "I couldn't be there for her 24/7, he says, and I knew she wouldn't want me to sacrifice my job or time with the kids to care for her." David's story is not uncommon. It reflects a larger reality. Society is changing, and so are family structures. This doesn't mean we love our parents any less. Rather, it shows that love sometimes needs to be expressed in new, more modern ways. And that's where the modern nursing home comes in. Not as a replacement for family love, but as a way to ensure that seniors live full, fulfilling lives. Think of James, a 72-year-old veteran I met in Florida. When I visited, he was sitting in the living room of a nursing home, holding a framed photo of him and his wife on their 40th wedding anniversary. His wife passed away a few years ago, and after living alone for a while, he realized that his home was no longer suitable for his failing health. He decided to move into a nursing home, and what struck me was how he described his choice. "I don't want my children to worry about me every day. I want them to live their lives, and I want to live mine, in a way that makes me happy." James joined a storytelling club at the nursing home, where he often shared stories about his military days and the letters he wrote to his wife from the battlefield. "When I tell stories, I feel like she's still here listening to me," he said, his eyes lighting up with an indescribable joy. James's words made me think a lot. In American culture, we often see caring for our parents at home as a symbol of filial piety and family love. But is that always the best choice? There are seniors like James or Margaret who want to be independent, to live in an environment with friends, to have professional care, and to still be able to video call their children and grandchildren whenever they want. But there is still a persistent stereotype that nursing homes are a sign of abandonment or irresponsibility. I wondered, where is the line between preserving family traditions and respecting the wishes of those we love? This question brought me to a community workshop I attended in New York. There, both young and old sat down to share their thoughts on how to care for the elderly. A young woman named Emily, in her 30s, said that she felt guilty when thinking about putting her mother in a nursing home. "I was afraid people would think I didn't love my mother," she said, her voice shaking. But then her mother, Linda, stood up and shared a different perspective. "I don't want my daughter to sacrifice her life for me," she said. "If I live in a place where I feel happy, cared for, and can still call Emily every day, that's what makes me happy." That conversation really touched me. It showed that sometimes the conflict between generations comes not from a lack of love, but from different understandings of happiness and responsibility. I thought about the storytelling sessions I'd witnessed in nursing homes. There, seniors not only shared memories, but also found empathy and understanding that they might have lost when living alone. They talked about the hard times, the simple joys, and the dreams they still cherish. These moments remind me that, in old age, people need not only physical care but also mental care. Modern nursing homes understand this. They not only provide professional medical care, but also create an environment where seniors can find joy, companionship, and feel heard. So, what can we learn from all these stories? I believe the most important thing is to realize that nursing homes are not an end, but a new beginning. They are not places to leave loved ones, but places to continue living with the dignity, joy, and care they deserve. In 2025, we are witnessing a major shift in how society views this model. Nursing homes are now designed like small villages, with everything from gyms and libraries to dance and art classes. They not only care for the health but also nourish the soul, helping the elderly feel that life is still full of meaning. But for this change to truly spread, we need something more: understanding from the community. We need to stop judging families who choose nursing homes for their loved ones. We need to listen to the elderly, respect their wishes, and support them to live the way they want. And above all, we need to remember that love is not about keeping someone with us, but about helping them find happiness, wherever that happiness is. I think of Margaret, who finds joy in storytelling, of James, who feels his wife is still with him through the stories he shares, and of Linda, who wants her daughter to live freely, the way she chooses to live happily in her old age. As I stand here in this peaceful park, I feel grateful. Grateful for people like Margaret, James, and Linda, who have dared to open their hearts, who have shown me that life can be vibrant at any age. Grateful that our society is gradually opening up to new ways of caring, new ways of loving. And grateful for you, who are listening, who are reflecting, and who are joining us in building a community where all generations are connected. I want to invite you to do something small today. Talk to your parents, grandparents, or yourself. Ask them what makes them happy, what makes them feel secure. And if nursing homes are part of the answer, see it as a loving choice, not a rejection. Let's build a society where seniors can live fully, where every story is valued. Thank you for spending time with Intergenerational Connection today. If this story touches your heart, please like, subscribe, and share it with your loved ones. We look forward to seeing you again on our next journeys, to tell and listen to our life stories. Wishing you a warm day, and may God always bless you.